Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this another live stream from Canguro English. Please tell me if you have any questions. I am here to answer your questions about English. So whatever your questions are, please ask me. I'm here. I'm here for this reason and for this reason only. So let me open chat so that I can see what you're talking to me about. I have a chat window. So I hope that you are. I hope that you are all well today. I hope you're all having a fantastic evening. It is 8:30 p.m. here in Europe, and I'm still experimenting with the streaming software. I don't know if the quality's good. I hope the quality's good. Please tell me if the quality's bad or not. Okay. So first question is, how can he have, or how can he has? Well, he have and he has. Well, you know that the correct conjugation in English is this one. He have no. Have is I, you, we, and they. So he has. Okay, so Vieko or Vijeko, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. He says the quality's fine, so I'm very happy about that. That makes me very happy, actually, because I was worried about the quality. Okay, let me just bring this down a little bit so I can see you all. Okay. Mohammed asked about how to strengthen vocabulary. I think, I tell all of my students that vocabulary is infinite. You could learn vocabulary about science, vocabulary about mathematics, vocabulary about boats, vocabulary about cooking. There's infinite vocabulary to learn. So you should learn the vocabulary that is interesting to you. So if you're interested in cooking, then start watching some cooking programs so that you can talk to people about your passion. If you're interested in mathematics, read some books about mathematics in English. Go onto some forums about mathematics in English. Study the things that are interesting to you, and then your vocabulary will improve naturally. Okay? What time is it in Australia? Jose is asking me what time it is in Australia. It depends. Australia is so big that it has 3 different time zones. Okay? Australia is as big as Europe. Okay, so the difference, it depends. It really depends what part. Okay. Angelica Floyd asked me a question about Australian English. She asked me, what is a bogan? A bogan is basically a person who has no class. It's related to class. Okay, so for example, probably a bogan has no education or a low level of education. They probably have a manual job. Maybe they work in the building industry, building things, or driving a truck. Probably they watch sports on television. So it's related to level of education and level of intelligence. But please remember that bogan is a disrespectful term. So, you know, it's not something that you should call people to their face. It has a lot of negative meanings. Okay, so this is what a bogan is. Okay. Okay, so Vivek wanted to clarify if it's he can have food or he can has food. He Okay, so Vivek's question was, is it he can have food or he can has food? Well, Vivek, can here, this is a modal verb. In English, we have about 10 modal verbs, okay, depending on your definition of modal verbs. Only 10. And in reality, only 6 of these modal verbs are commonly used, okay? And can is a common modal verb, okay? And with all modal verbs, can, could, should, must, will, etc. With these modal verbs, we always use infinitive, okay? This is impossible with a modal verb, okay? So this is correct, and this is wrong. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so Paula has asked me, what is the difference between used to and would? Good question. I like this question. Okay. Okay, so for example, you could say, I used to eat pizza, or I would eat pizza. Okay, and in these examples, the meaning is exactly the same. Okay, used to and would, they represent a habit or something that repeated in the past. Okay, but now it's finished. So I used to eat pizza means that in the past you would eat pizza, but now you don't. And I would eat pizza, exactly the same. They have the same meaning. Okay, but used to and would also have other meanings. For example, we can use would to make conditional sentences in English. We can use used to talk about being accustomed to something, to talk about a habit now. But in this example, they are identical, okay? So please tell me if that answers your question or not, okay? Hello, Dima. Welcome back to class. Martin Peloduro, who lives in San Francisco, has who is a native Spanish speaker, has asked me if Australian English is different from American English. I can tell you that really all of the different Englishes, Australian English, British English, American English, Zimbabwe English, Pakistan English, they are all basically the same. It's very homogeneous. all of the different countries in the world that speak English, the English is very, very, very similar. The grammatical structure is identical. The only thing really that changes is specific vocabulary and pronunciation. Okay? We don't have a big variation, like, for example, with other languages, like Arabic, which can be very different in pronunciation and vocabulary from Morocco to Saudi Arabia. And even, even Spanish between maybe Peru and Spanish in Spain can be quite different. But the base is identical. I would say the difference between American English and Australian English is the same as the difference between New York English and Boston English. Okay? So hopefully that answers your question. Junaid Abbasi, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. She wants to know, or he wants to know, why is Mr. Bean here? Because Mr. Bean is the funniest comedian in the world, and he represents English culture, and he represents England. He is a mascot for England. So that's why I have him here on the wall. Okay. So Muhammad has another question. He says that he is good at speaking and writing, but sometimes he feels like he doesn't know very much. He feels maybe a bit disheartened, a bit disappointed when he hears native speakers. And look, listen, Muhammad, I think this is really normal. But you have to remember that learning a language is really, 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 really difficult. Okay? It's not easy. You cannot learn a language in 3 months or 30 days. Okay? It takes years and years of practice to speak a language and understand everything perfectly. Okay? And I know that sometimes it's difficult. You study and then you don't understand, or people don't understand you. It's very, very frustrating. I understand. But, and I want to talk about this a little bit, okay? That it's really important before you start to learn a language, okay? Before you open the book, or before you watch a YouTube video, before you start to learn a language, you need to find your motivation. Because if you don't have motivation, you will never learn a language. Okay? So it could be external motivation. Maybe you are moving to England, or maybe your girlfriend or your boyfriend speaks English. Okay? Or maybe it's internal motivation. You want to, become more intelligent by learning a new language. Or you want to watch your favorite television program in English, okay? So external or internal motivation, but you must discover your motivation. And if you feel disappointed, you're studying hard, you're having a bad day, okay, you need to go back and look for the motivation. Why are you studying English? What do you want? What is your objective? Okay, this is the most important thing. Don't feel bad, Muhammad. Look for your motivation and you will be 100%, okay? Okay, so Dima has asked me about my level of Spanish. Well, okay, the level of a language, personally, I think is very difficult to judge, to say he is fluent, he is not fluent, he is level B1 or C2. I think personally it's difficult. My level is okay. I can I can do all of the things I want in Spanish. I can go to restaurants, I can conduct business, I can watch television. So for me, my level is perfect. You know, but yes, when I speak, I make a lot of mistakes. Masculine and feminine, conjugations of the verbs, it's very difficult. But you know, my level is I don't know, it's okay. It's I don't know, it's good. Okay. Vivek. Ah, okay. Vivek. I like the sound of your name, Vivek. Okay. Vivek wants to know the difference between the three articles in English. Okay. Okay, so you know that in English we have three articles: a, an, and the. Okay, so these two, a and an, they are identical. They are the indefinite article. Indefinite. And the is the definite article. Okay. So what does that mean, indefinite and definite? Well, indefinite means that we are not talking about a specific thing. Okay? So here I have a bottle of water. Okay? Now, imagine that I say to you, I want a bottle of water. Okay, with the indefinite article. This means that you can give me any bottle of water in the world. I don't want a specific bottle. I don't want this bottle. I want a bottle of water. Any bottle, okay? But the definite article is when I talk about something specific, okay? I want the bottle of water. The, okay? I'm referring to a specific thing. When I say to you, I want the bottle of water, I mean exactly this one. Okay? And the difference between a and an is that a, we use this with the consonant sounds. Consonant. And an we use with vowels. Okay, now it's very important to remember when I say consonants and vowels, I'm not referring to the spelling, I'm referring to the sound, the pronunciation. So for example, I could say an apple, because apple starts with a, which is a vowel, but I can also use it for words that don't start with vowels. And the same with this one, with a consonant. For example, I could say a university. A university. So university starts with the letter U, which is a vowel, but the pronunciation is EU, like this. So in reality, the sound is a consonant sound, okay? So hopefully this helps you to understand the difference between a, an, and the. Please tell me if you want me to explain more, okay? Okay. Okay. Paula wants to know, how can we recognize a state verb and an action verb? Okay. I think when you mean when you're talking about stative verbs, you mean verbs that take an object and verbs that don't take an object, I think you mean? Or do you mean the difference between well, I don't know what else you could mean. For example, what is a verb that always has to take an object? I. Okay, so well, for example, want and like, it's necessary for them to take an object. I want, well, what do you want? I want something. I want pizza, for example. And like as well, it's necessary for us to put an object. I like dogs. But go, it's optional. I go to the shop, or I go here, or I go. So I think that I hope this is the question you're asking me. What is the way to recognize them? It's impossible to recognize whether a verb is stative or not by looking at it. You have to just use the verb, and you will. When you use the verb, you will memorize if it needs an object or not. Okay, so I think it's the same with memorizing phrasal verbs or vocabulary. There's two steps. Okay, so the first step is memorization, and the second step is usage. You must use the English. If you don't use it, you will forget it. And this is not my personal opinion, this is scientific fact. Two steps. Memorize and use. Okay? Okay. Okay, let me go back a little bit to look at some of your comments. Okay. Okay. Antonio Enrique wants to know if I can help with the IELTS listening. I say this to all of my students, that I cannot teach you listening. The best English teacher in the world cannot teach you listening. Okay? Listening is something that you have to just practice by listening. Okay? So the only way that you can improve your level of listening is by listening. But listen to things that interest you. Don't listen to the activities from your English book. Okay, these are boring. Oh my God, you will die of boredom. Don't listen to English audio on websites. Okay, about grammar exercises. No, listen to podcasts that are interesting to you, about things you are passionate about, or listen to and write down the lyrics of your favorite songs. Or on YouTube you can find videos about subjects that interest you, and just watch them and listen and watch and listen. And 10 minutes fully concentrated is better than 2 hours thinking about other things. Okay, so focused listening about things that interest you, and your listening will improve, I promise. Okay, there's no secret, no techniques. Okay, George, or Jorge, I think, he's saying that he can understand me perfectly, but when he listens to other people speak, that he has difficulty understanding. Look, that is perfectly normal. Everybody speaks differently, and it's very easy to become accustomed to listening to one person. Like, it's very normal for an English student to have one teacher for 5 years, and then when they speak to a different person, they don't understand anything. So it's important to have variety. And again, you know, you can find lots of variety on the internet, okay, on the internet, on the radio. Your objective is to listen to as many different accents as possible, and it will come with time, okay, with time. Don't stress, don't worry, okay? Learning a language is a beautiful process that takes a long time, okay? In Italy, they have slow food. Slow food is when you eat slowly and you enjoy every moment of the food, okay? You don't go to McDonald's, get a hamburger, okay? Slow food, and you should have the same philosophy, okay? Slow English. Enjoy the process of learning, okay? And don't try to rush. Enjoy every day, you'll improve. It's a beautiful thing, okay? A beautiful thing. Okay. Okay. Marco Antonio Montoya wants to know, how do I know if a phrasal verb, I can put the object in the middle or not? Okay. Let's think of a very common phrasal verb, like oh my god, today, because I just finished working all day, so my brain is like fried. Okay, so what about fall down? And another phrasal verb maybe turn down. Okay, so here are two examples. So with this phrasal verb, I can put an object in the middle. I can say, turn the radio down. Okay, perfect. But here, I cannot put the object in the middle. I can say, for example, fall the stairs down. No. The only option is here. Here, no. So, what is the difference? How do I know if I can put an object in the middle or not? I'm very sorry to tell you this, but there is absolutely no way to know if you can put an object in the middle or not. I'm sorry. The only thing you can do is have a really good study technique to memorize this. Okay? Unfortunately, it's impossible by looking to know, okay? You have to learn the phrasal verb and learn if it takes an object in the middle or not, okay? I'm sorry. I wish that I could tell you that there was a secret, but there's no secret, okay? Okay. Muhammad said that that maybe I am making him feel like he is in a circle of confidence, in a secret society. Well, it's very true, okay? All of you who are watching this class now, okay, you are the reason that I come to work every day, okay? You are the reason that I get out of bed and come in and teach and study English, because basically I love to teach, and I want to spread knowledge for free everywhere. So all of you are very important to me. So I'm so happy to have you in this class. And really, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, okay? So, I'm going to try and press this button now and see what happens. Apparently, it didn't do anything, this button. Okay, good, right. So we have some people talking about where they're from, some people from India, some people from Brazil. Welcome everybody from around the world. I'm very happy to have you in class. Okay, so I'm looking for another question here. Okay, so maybe some of you are confused because recently I made a class about Australian English. So I am Australian. I was born in Australia. But when I was 21, I left Australia and I moved to England. And I have not lived in Australia since then. So I haven't lived in Australia for a long time. And now I live and I work and I teach in Spain. But recently, when I went back to Australia to visit my family, I made a class about Australian English because it's a very interesting subject. But so yes, I'm born in Australia, lived in lots of different countries, and now I live and teach in Spain. Okay, so if any of you are in the north of Spain, come and say hi to me, and we can go out and have some beers and talk in English. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm looking for some more questions here. Okay, so there was somebody asking me, saying that their listening is very good. They can understand everything, but their speaking is bad. And this is a very typical situation. Okay, this is called passive language. Passive language is when your understanding is better than your producing. Okay, and really the only way to fix this problem, to improve this problem, is to produce English. Okay, so maybe if you're shy, or maybe you don't have many friends to practice, you can start by writing. Okay, you need to produce English, so you can write. You could talk to yourself. That would be strange. Don't talk to yourself. If you want to improve your speaking, you must make some connections. Okay, make some new friends. Go and join an activity. Go and play football, or join a class about photography, or you need to start producing. Okay, don't be shy. Get out there, make some friends, and then your speaking will improve. Okay. Okay. Kimberly Kim. I don't know why you're called Kimberly Kim. I don't know if that's a mistake or not, but Kimberly Kim was asking me what accent I have. I think my accent is a bit of a mix between Australian and English, British English. Okay, Australian British English. Yeah, so definitely not American. Okay, definitely not American. Australian and British mixed together. But because of my job, because every day I have to communicate, I am very careful to pronounce all of my words correctly, and to be very clear with my pronunciation. But with my friends, probably I don't speak like this. Probably I speak more closed. Okay. So, Marilyn, hello Marilyn. Marilyn Hincapie, I don't know if you're related to George Hincapie, the famous cyclist. If you are, say hello, tell him that he is amazing. Amazing cyclist. Okay. Okay, she is saying that sometimes she confuses the past simple and the past perfect. Okay. Okay, so the easiest way to explain past simple and past perfect is with a timeline. So we have the past and then now, the present, okay? So the past simple we use to talk about finished actions at a specific time, okay? So, past simple. Past simple, finished action at a specific time. So, for example, what did you do yesterday? Well, yesterday I went to a bar. Okay, here we go. I went to a bar. And then what did you do? Then I went to my friend's house. Okay. I went to my friend's house. Okay, perfect. So you can see that we were talking about finished events at a specific time. Yesterday I went to a bar. Yesterday I went to my friend's house. Now, the past perfect is different because the past perfect is always related to another event in the past. Okay, so before we can use past perfect, mentally we have to enter the past. We have to relate now to the past. We have to transport in time to the past. Okay, so past perfect related to another event. It's the past of the past. So let's practice. So imagine you start your sentence here. Okay? You say, yesterday I went You say, yesterday I went to my friend's house. Now, mentally, where am I? I'm not in the now, okay? Mentally, I am transported here. Okay? With your sentence now, in the past simple, mentally I'm transported to this moment. So I'm in the past now. Now, if I want to talk about this event, which is the past of the past, if I want to talk about this, I must use past perfect. It's related to this. Okay? I would say, I had gone to a bar. Okay? I had gone. Had in the past, gone, participle, gone to a bar. Okay? So the past perfect always relies on another event in the past for a reference. The past of the past. I hope that answers your question. Please tell me if you still don't understand and I will explain more. Okay? Okay. So, so I have some more questions here. Sorry, I know this is very boring for you to watch this, but I am watching. I'm trying to find the things. Okay. Marilyn says that sometimes she confuses auxiliary verbs and the times. I'm not sure what you mean. Could you please clarify what you mean by this? Okay, because I'm not sure. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so hello, Laura. Laura has asked me, what is the difference between either and neither? Ooh. I like this question. So, what is the difference between either and neither? Okay? There is absolutely no difference. They are exactly the same. The meaning is the same. The difference is that either, okay, is for negative sentences. Negative. And neither is for positive sentences. Okay? So, for example, I don't have either. Okay? I don't have either. You can see we have negative, negative, positive. Negative, positive. In English, it's impossible to have two negatives in a sentence. Negative, positive, or positive, negative. I have neither. So here you can see positive, positive, negative. Okay? This is one of the fundamental rules of the structure of English. Double negatives, no. Okay? For example, I don't have two negatives. No. Okay? So hopefully that answers your question. There's no difference, okay? Okay. Also, Laura has asked, is there any difference between answering a question with to or with so do I, for example? Okay, let's have a look. No. I like pizza. And she said, I like it too. So this is the first one. Okay. So, yes, Laura was asking, if I say to you, I like pizza, you can reply, I like pizza too. Or you can reply, so do I. And so again, Laura, the meaning is exactly the same. There is no difference in the meaning. The only difference is the type of construction, okay? And so they're both correct, they're both perfect, they're both natural, no problems. But remember that native speakers are very lazy. They want to use the shortest sentence possible. So probably this is the most common. But I have no statistics to prove this. But native speakers are lazy, so it could be true that that's the most common. Okay. 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 Yeah. So some people have sent me messages asking why they cannot watch the live class after the class has finished. I decided that what I would like is for everybody to experience this live class together, and then after I delete the class, okay? Because I don't know, I think it's more special, more of an event, okay? Something more with more energy. So this is my plan. So if you are not here in this live class, then you will never see this class again. It will be deleted forever. But maybe this is a terrible idea. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I would love to know what you think about this. Okay. Anderson Francellino or Francelino, I don't know. Cool name, Anderson. I really like this name. Wants to know when to use in or at or on. Well, just maybe 2 weeks ago, I made a video about this subject, in and at and on, for position. But I will give you the quick 2-minute class about this, okay? So basically, in is something which has a limit, something which has a border, a definition, an area, okay? Like in a country, in Spain, because Spain has a border, I can be in a room, okay, in a three-dimensional space. Okay, so we can say in a place with a limit. Okay? At is a synonym for next to. Okay? I am at the computer. Oh, I am at the board. Okay, so it's next to. It's the same, next to. And then on basically means contact, touching. So for example, the water bottle is on my head, okay, on. But also, I can say this is on the bottle, or on the bottle. So it's touching in 3 dimensions, okay? But 2 extra things, okay, 2 extra things. At, we also use for public places. Public buildings, hospitals, hotels, airports, the doctors, the clinic of the doctor, okay, public buildings. And also we use at for events. Events like parties, weddings, concerts, okay? So this is basically how we use the three prepositions, okay? So right now I am in the school, at the computer, on YouTube. I'm on YouTube because I'm touching your screen. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Galileo. Okay, he wants to know, how do you pronounce water in an Australian accent? Okay. I'm using so much chalk. Come on. God damn it. Okay. Okay. Some English accents are rhotic and some English accents are non-rhotic. For example, American English is rhotic. What does this mean? This means that in American English we pronounce the R. Okay, so in American English they would pronounce the R. okay, they would say water, okay, and they make the mouth position, okay, for the R with the tongue, okay, but British English and Australian English is non-rhotic. We do not pronounce the R if it's after a vowel. Vowel, R. So in this case, the pronunciation is like ah. So we say water. The tongue is flat, similar to the consonant R, okay, like when you go to the doctor, okay. Same with British English, water. American with R, water, R mouth position. British English, Australian English, water. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. Okay, so Dima wants to know, do we use ing when we speak about processes? Okay, so here we have two sentences which are essentially the same, right? We have I went fishing and I went to fish. But technically, okay, grammatically, they are different because the first one, is not a verb, it is a noun. Okay? In English, In English, we have something very strange. Verb plus ing equals noun. So in this case, technically, this is not a verb. This is a noun, fishing. Okay? It is the activity of fishing. But here, it is actually the verb. Okay? Here we're using the verb. In reality, the difference in meaning is the same. Okay, but when we put ing on a verb, we convert it into a noun. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. The difference is that that one is a noun, one is a verb. They're the same, but different. But the same, but different. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. I'm trying to find some more questions here. There are a lot of questions. Okay. 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 So Valentina Dolci, beautiful name, the most Italian name I can imagine. Valentina Dolci. She has a problem using to be used to and to get used to. Okay. Okay. Okay, so what is the difference really between to be used to and to get used to? Okay. For example, you have here, I am used to pizza. This is the present tense. And again, in the present tense, I get used to pizza. So the difference is that the first one, I am, means that the process of accustomization, okay, the process of being used to something, the process of developing the habit is finished. Okay, so if you say I am used to rock music, this means that the process the process of customization is finished. But when we use get, we mean that the process is still happening. We are talking about the process. And that's why it's very strange to use it in the present like this, because it doesn't sound natural, because you cannot use a continuing process in present simple. They're not compatible. Okay? This would be more natural to use present continuous, because the process is happening now. Okay? So in this case, I am getting used to means that you're not finished getting used to it. Okay? The process is not complete. But this one, yes. And if you want to use this for the future, okay. Okay, so these are the two infinitive forms: to be used to and to get used to. Now, these are essentially phrasal verbs. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3 parts. 3 parts to the phrasal verb. Okay, and the same as with all phrasal verbs, we only conjugate the first part. That means that we will never conjugate this, okay? We only change be or get, okay? And so for the past, was or were. For the present, am or are or is. And for the future, will be or going to be. And for this one, in the past, got. In the present, get or getting, and in the future, will get or am getting. Okay? So, hopefully that helps you to understand the difference and to understand that we only want to conjugate this part and this nothing. Okay? Okay. Hopefully, Valentina, that answers your question. Galileo wants to know what is the difference between I visited the moon restaurant. Okay. Okay, so Galileo wants to know what is the difference between I visited the moon restaurant and I had visited the moon restaurant. Okay? Well, this is what I talked about earlier in the class, is that here we have past simple and here we have past perfect. So in this case, okay, psychologically, mentally, when I use this sentence, I am using this with a reference in relation to another time in the past. Okay? So if I say this sentence on its own with no other sentences, it's very strange. It doesn't sound natural, because when I use this, I'm referring to a previous event in the past. Okay? But maybe if I asked you the question, what did you do before you came to my house? I had visited the moon restaurant. Because you are using coming to my house as a reference for this new action. Okay? Whereas this is an isolated action in the past. It's the normal way to speak, okay? Hopefully that answers your question. Okay. I only have time for a few more questions and then I have to go. So let's have a look what else we have here. Let's have a look. Okay, so what's wrong with Elizabeth? What it almost says. Okay, so Kimberly Kim was asking me a question about apostrophes. I made a class about apostrophes, I think last week, so you should go to my channel and look, and it will explain everything about your apostrophes, okay? The analista de comentarios das pessoas para contrato wants to know, what is the pronunciation of the ordinal numbers? This is a good question. I like this question. Okay. Okay, so you know that in English we have cardinal numbers and ordinal numbers. Cardinal numbers are simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And ordinal numbers are like this: first, second, third, etc. Okay? Now, the first three in English are different. First with ST, okay, with ST, first. Second with ND. And then we have third with RD, okay, third. But after this, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, to infinity, okay, is with TH. So, how do we pronounce the TH in English? Well, it's very important. We have to stick out your tongue like this, look. If I don't see your tongue, you are not pronouncing it correctly. I want to see your tongue. Fifth, sixth, seventh, okay? Now, maybe you think this is horrible because you're spitting and there's saliva, it's disgusting, okay? But this is the correct pronunciation, okay? But you don't to practice, you can exaggerate, okay? But in reality, you stick your tongue out just a little bit. Fifth, sixth, okay? So that's the correct pronunciation of these numbers in Spanish, in English, sorry. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm going to just answer one final question, and then I have to go. Okay, the final question is so sorry, I'm reading the comments. There's lots of people talking between each other in Italian and Brazilian, and it's fantastic to see this. I love to see this. Okay. Okay. So I can't see any more questions that I can answer quickly. Okay. So yes, this is a very special live class. I'm going to do another live class next week on Tuesday. Please tell me if you enjoyed this class. I hope you did. I really loved having you all in my class. And remember, as I said at the beginning, all of you are the reason that I make these videos, that I come to work every day, that I study English really hard, okay? So thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate having you all here. And I will definitely see you in the next class. So thank you for watching.